Welcome back. This time we'll describe how electronic bidding on your event website works for guests who bring a smartphone to your event. E-bidding is only available in the Ready Set Auction Complete plan. If your organization is using a different plan, you can skip this video. In this tutorial, we'll cover how your bidders register for electronic bidding on your event website, make bids and purchases in your online catalog, check the status of packages they've bid on, purchased, or marked as favorites, and how they can skip the checkout line and pay from their own smartphones. A quick note before we begin. The online catalog adjusts to whatever size screen the bidder is using. So whether she's bidding on her computer before event day, or bidding on her smartphone or tablet during the event, the functionality is the same. Also, you'll find the eBidder tip sheet in the Control Center useful. It's in the Printed Materials for Patrons, under the Bidder Materials tab. It provides a quick intro to e-bidding for your guests, including a helpful guide to the most important buttons and icons in your e-catalog. We strongly recommend that you print out the eBidder tip sheet, laminate a few copies, and make them available at your event. To bid on and buy items in your online catalog, a guest needs to set up an eBidder account. The guest can do this in several ways: by clicking the link in the invitation that was emailed to him at check-in, by using the shortcut on the eBidder tip sheet to access your event website and initiate an invitation to himself, and on a bidding station. We'll review methods 1 and 2 in this video. You'll find instructions for bidding station registration in the video entitled How Bidding Stations Work. We found it's helpful to have at least one volunteer on site during your event who is familiar with all three of these approaches to eBidder registration. This person's sole job is helping guests set up their electronic bidding accounts or sign back into e-bidding accounts they set up before the event. Let's take a look at the most common example first. You've just checked Stan Smith into the event and sent his registration invitation by email as part of the check-in process. Have Stan check his email and follow the Create Account link to the registration form. Which fields appear and are required on this form depends on settings your administrator chose and on what information the system already has for Stan. Help him fill out the form and choose a password and PIN. If either of you has any questions about passwords or PINs, tap the yellow help icons for more information. When Stan is done, have him tap the Create Account button. He's now a registered e-bidder, able to make electronic bids and purchases. Integrating registration into check-in like this is by far the easiest way to do things, and it helps ensure that you get as many registered e-bidders as possible. For our next example though, let's pretend that Stan skipped the check-in line, or that you're not requiring guests to check in. To keep things simple, we'll assume that you are using public registration for your event. For more information about event websites with private access or registration by request, consult the Ready Set Auction Help Desk or your event's administrator. In this no check-in case, you'll help Sam through the following steps. Refer to the instructions from the eBidder tip sheet's first bullet point. The short web address and event code are easy to type on a mobile device and easy to remember. Once Stan is on the event website, have him tap or click the menu button at the top right corner of the page. If the menu already has a Sign Out button in it, then Stan's already registered and logged in. He may just need some help finding his way around the catalog or placing bids. If you see a Sign In button, he should use that. Tap the Request Account button near the top of the Sign In page. Have Stan fill in the Request an Account form with his basic information, instructing him to use an email address he'll have access to on his smartphone. Then submit the form with the Request Account button. Stan will soon get a registration invitation at the email address he provided, the same invitation to register for electronic bidding that he would get through the check-in process we described earlier. So the rest is exactly what we covered before. Follow the Create Account link, then complete and submit the form. Since Stan has just registered, he's a good example to show us the ropes when it comes to bidding and purchasing in the online catalog. Let's stick with him as he starts to explore. An eBidder must become activated in order to place bids. Assuming your administrator has enabled auto activation, this happens automatically when Stan taps a Bid Now or Buy Now button for an auction package. Once activated, he won't see those buttons anymore. Instead, he'll just see the controls for bidding or buying. On a smartphone, you tap to expand those controls. This helps make the most of the device's limited screen space. On a tablet or other larger screen device, these controls are always visible. The same goes for the list of auction categories. To purchase a buyable package, Stan just chooses the quantity he wants with the slider or by typing directly into the quantity field. Then clicks Next. The bidder must confirm every bid and purchase. This is to help them avoid unintentional purchases or accidentally bidding higher than they intended. After completing the purchase, Stan will see a green success message. There will also be a reminder, above the buy controls, of how much of this item he's purchased so far. Notice that Stan now has this yellow $sign icon at the top of the page. When that icon appears, a bidder can tap or click on it to view and pay their invoice. We'll get to checkout soon. First, let's take a look at electronic bidding. Biddable items in the eCatalog present a few more options. If a package has a Win It Now price like this one does, Stan can tap the Win It Now button to skip past bidding and buy the package outright. To keep from putting a fundraising ceiling on items that look like they might get bid up to a high price, the Win It Now button disappears when a package's leading bid gets close to the Win It Now price. If Stan wants to bid rather than buy using Win It Now, he can quickly enter the item's current minimum bid by tapping the Quick Fill link. He can also manually enter any bid he wants into the Your Bid field. But for items with a Win It Now price, it is possible to go too far. You can't bid at or above the Win It Now price. Now, obviously, Stan is very excited about these lattes. At first, he considers simply jumping the bidding as high as he can by bidding just under the Win It Now price. That's what would happen if he clicked Next and confirmed this new bid. Stan will become the leading bidder at $199. But after taking a moment to calm himself, Stan decides to use Auto, Ready Set Auction's bidding robot. When bidding with Auto, the amount Stan enters into the bid field will become his maximum bid. Auto will then place the minimum bid needed to put Stan into the lead. This means that if no one else is bidding on this package, Auto's bid will be the next increment over the current leading bid, an amount determined by this package's minimum raise setting in Ready Set Auction. Then, each time someone outbids Stan, Auto will step in and place the next highest minimum bid above theirs. This will go on until someone bids higher than Stan's maximum, or everyone else gives up and Stan wins. But if another bidder who wants this latte package is also using Auto, things can escalate quickly. Whichever bot received the higher maximum will place a bid one increment above the other's max, instantly knocking that competing bot out of the running. The losing bot's human will be notified they've been outbid, however, and can always return to increase their maximum bid and rejoin the competition. We've just finished the most complicated parts of this video, so this may be a good time to take a break. You could go back and review anything you didn't quite catch the first time through, or just have a cup of coffee and walk for a moment. There's about 3.5 minutes left in the video, and it's pretty straightforward from here on. Ready? Let's get back to it. To learn how to check item status, we'll switch bidders to Monique Coleman. She's been busy bidding on and buying auction packages for longer, so she has more status info to show us. If Monique is logged in, each package she's bid on or purchased will give detailed status information on that package's page. If she's outbid on any items, her outbid badge will appear in the upper right corner. The number in her outbid badge represents the number of items she's been outbid on since she last visited the outbid list, which she can view with a tap of the outbid badge. She can also see an overview of all the packages she's bid on, purchased, or manually added to her favorites by tapping the Favorites button. In her favorites, all those packages are listed with icons to indicate their current status. Outbid, leading, won, or closed. Monique would like to go ahead and pay for these two buyable packages she's purchased, even though bidding is still going for these two items. Your events bidders can check out at any time, with any number of items, and as many times as they want. All they need is one or more items they've won or purchased, but haven't yet paid for. So Monique can pay for her purchased items now, then come back later to pay for her auction winnings once bidding is finished. Let's follow Monique through checkout. Remember this checkout icon that we saw earlier with Stan? There's another like it on your event site's auction launchpad, and on the home page, and in the navigation menu. Using any of these will take Monique to her checkout page. Here, Monique can view the invoice for all the items she's won or purchased. If your organization has enabled online self-checkout and some payment methods, she can also pay here without having to go through a checkout line. Credit card info collected by the cashier during check-in, or saved by Monique when she purchased her tickets before the event, will appear in this menu as an online payment option. If there were no saved cards, she could add one during this purchase process, or use PayPal. After paying, Monique will automatically receive a receipt by email. She can also view receipts for her payments on the event website. If she makes additional payments, those receipts will appear on this page along with the one she just created. That concludes our video on smartphone bidding and the eCatalog. Don't forget to watch our videos on configuring bidding stations and how bidding stations work to learn about the few but important ways that shared bidding stations are different from bidding on one's own device. If you have any questions after watching one of these tutorial videos, or about anything related to Radius at Auction, don't hesitate to contact our support team.